Hey everybody, so one of the questions that I have been getting a lot, just in my personal life, on my Facebook, just like all over the place, are people asking me, why do you care so much about After? Why do you care so much about Afternators? Why do you make so many videos talking about this particular subject? And the answer, I could sit here and say that the simple answer is because I'm a human being. Because I'm a human being, I'm a nice person, who just does not feel the need to be mean just for no reason. But the fact of the matter is that and I'm not going to say that everybody has to sit here and love the After movie. I know that some fans are very angry about it. I just got out of my third viewing of this film, and I know that fans are upset about it. I heard some people complaining about it as I was leaving the screening. But the fact of the matter is that when I see, because for a long time with Twilight, with 50 Shades, I sat back and I didn't say a damn word. When I saw women being disrespected just for daring to like something, because it usually is women. It's never really guys. It's women. And let's face it, I also understand my privilege. My privilege, because I understand that if a woman was sitting here making these same types of videos, she would be cursed out, she would be, screamed at, she would be disrespected. So yeah, I get my privilege that I get to sit here and, talk about these subjects with you guys and not, have to take the same vitriol and abuse that, a woman in my position would be taking. But, like I just said, I sat through it with 50 Shades. I sat through it with Twilight, because I think one of the most egregious things that I saw with the Twilight franchise is that during the final film, when the final film was getting ready to come out, do y'all remember that was the same year that in July they had that horrific mass shooting in that movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, during the Dark Knight Rises screening? Do you remember that horrific shooting? I remember seeing comments online with people asking, why couldn't he have done that during the Twilight screening? Why did he have to do that during the Dark Knight Rises screening? Why couldn't he do it? Why couldn't it be during the Twilight screening? And I was just sitting there really? I mean, really? I don't get people like that. I don't understand people like that. And then I started to read reviews for the After film. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the only people who are attacking this film or who are hating the film are just men or just, old white men. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that. I understand that, some female critics have actually hated it as well. But when you look at Rotten Tomatoes and you see the two positive reviews, they come from women. But even when you look at the negative reviews from the female critics, they still kind of, they don't seem to drip venom as much as the male critics do. They don't seem to be, just summoning up this hatred, this vitriol, these personal attacks on the fandom, or these snipey attacks on the fans of this thing, or the people who would normally go to see this film. Because one of the things that Deadline said in an article talking about the box office is that, under 25, young girls are out in full force to see this film, which that's really not a surprise here. But, when I read a review, or when I read somebody who says, bottom line, if your favorite band is still One Direction, this is the film for you. When I read him say that, in case you haven't guessed from the byline or the fact that this review is appearing in a prominent publication and not as a YouTube video, let me state the obvious: I am not a teenage girl. Which is really? Did you really need to say something like that? Or in another review where this guy just says, the film is the kind of dispiriting effort that thinks it's scratching an itch for masochistic young girls. And I'm like, really, dude? You wouldn't be saying the same thing about Hellboy, because let's remember, I have seen Hellboy, and I could pretty much sum up Hellboy as what only a 13-year-old boy could think is edgy. That just thinks that just because you show a bunch of blood and gore, and people getting ripped apart and saying the word fuck every other word, just randomly throwing it in there, makes you edgy. And yeah, you can say that about Hellboy, that's all that it is. But I've never seen a review for Hellboy say like, oh, it thinks that it's scratching an itch for a bunch of masochistic young boys. I've never seen that review. The fact of the matter is that through Twilight, through 50 Shades, and now effectively through After, even though, there are lesser reviews for After than there are for the other two, is that I just see these reviewers who just take slanderous, offensive shots at the fandom. If you want to hate a film, that's fine, but you don't need to go after the fandom. You don't need to go after, young girls just because they dared to like this film, just because they dared to like the book. Because let's face it, and I don't know if anybody will agree with me here, but you know what? Young women and women in general, you know what? They got enough shit to deal with in their lives every day without having to worry, if they're going to be sniped at by a male critic. I mean, that's just the truth. They got enough shit to deal with in their daily lives, and that they don't need like one more person sniping at them. And that's why I'm starting to make this channel more about After, because I do want a place for people to come where you can hear a guy talk about this stuff without feeling like I am personally attacking you. Because yes, do I have problems with the film? Yes, I see some issues with the film, which is why I will always say, if you have legitimate criticisms about this film, believe me, there are enough things in here that you can criticize. But the fact of the matter is that you don't need to go personally after the fans. You don't need to attack young girls just to prove your point. And that's the problem that I see, is that a lot of critics just see it as open season on young girls. Or women in general, because I know that not just young girls are going to go see this, but, women in general, are being attacked, just for daring to like this thing. And that's what I'm seeing in a lot of these reviews. And a lot of these reviewers just make me sick to my stomach. And that's why I don't want to see After treated the same way as 50 Shades and Twilight. I don't want to see people making comments like, oh, why could a mass shooter not have done this at a Twilight screen, and then we could have knocked off a bunch of girls. Because I did see that comment right around the time that the mass shooting in Colorado happened at the Dark Knight Rises screening. I did see that comment, and that comment made me sick to my stomach. Or the millions of comments that I saw, or Twitter posts pop up online where people were taking pictures of allegedly movie theater seats after screenings of 50 Shades and showing sticky seats or, cucumbers with condoms wrapped up in it, which, by the way, that doesn't seem like something that, a woman would have done. That seems more like something like what an immature douchebag thinks that a woman would have done during that screening and just wants to get a few fucking likes. So I'm here to fucking tell you, look, if you want to hate the film, that's fine, but you don't got to attack, the demographic who actually likes it. You don't have to do that. And I'm also here to tell you, if you need a space to actually hear people talk about the movie After without having to feel personally attacked, here's your space. Here's the channel for you, or you can find other channels, other fans. But yeah, if you want to hear a guy talk about this thing and not, feel like you're being personally attacked, then this is your channel. Because you know what? I'm here to put all you critics on notice. I'm here to put all of you guys on notice. You can hate the film all you want. You can have legitimate criticisms all you want. But the minute you step over that fucking line, I'm going to call you out on it. Because you did it for Twilight. You did it for 50 Shades. It's kind of funny because you always seem to, go after, the female-aimed movies a lot harder than you do the male-aimed movies. So I'm here to fucking tell you, you better knock that shit off. Because this time, I don't give a fuck if I have 176 subscribers. I'm going to treat this shit like I have millions of people who are actually willing to listen to me. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to fucking call you out on it. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this shit. So, Robert Abel and Frank Scheck of The Wrap and The Hollywood Reporter, you're on fucking notice. There's your first two names. Because you know what? They didn't need to fucking do this shit. Because you know what? Just based on the... because you know what? I wish that we could go back to a time when people could just admit, hey, this film wasn't for me, and hey, if you're a fan of this, go see it, do whatever you want with it. If you're not, this is not going to change your mind. Because you know what? When the final Twilight film came out, that's what a lot of critics did. They were just like, you know what? At this point, if you're on this train or not. If you're not, this is not going to change your mind. If you are, it doesn't matter what I say. So, go with God. But we're way past that. Now we're at the point where critics just see this as open season on fans, where they feel like they can just be complete assholes to mainly female-aimed films, and nobody's gonna fucking call them out on it. And you know what? This is getting a little bit fucking ridiculous, and I'm fucking sick and tired of hearing it. So you know what? Jump down to the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to click the like button. Remember to subscribe. I'll see you later. Afternators. Take care, y'all.